And now to present our next award, I want you to welcome Oregon's Attorney General. Her Department of Justice is embroiled in 10 lawsuits against the Trump administration. She has joined with other Democratic attorneys general in numerous friend of the court briefs at all levels of the federal court system and is engaged in no fewer than 44 actions resisting the administration's environmental agenda. Here is our own personal resistance lawyer, Ellen Rosenblum.
Okay, so I don't care if you listened when Jean was talking about me, but I do care that you listen about what I'm about to talk about, because it's really important and very special. I am so pleased to be here tonight. I love the Wayne Morse Gala, and I'm especially honored to present the Wayne Morse Award for Integrity and Passion for two reasons. First, I'm a huge fan of Senator Wayne Morse, a leader and a role model for many of us in public service, for all of us. Morse was respected for standing by his convictions and for being a voice for the people. Second, because I am also a huge fan of the recipient of this year's award, Oregon State Senator Sara Gelser. Since 2005, Sara has been a strong voice in Salem, especially for women, children, and people with disabilities, first as a state representative and then as a state senator beginning in 2015. Sara keeps all of us busy every session, dropping more bills and having more great ideas to fix our laws and our state in one session than most other lawmakers will have in their entire careers. It's fair to say that her passion is curtailed only slightly by the finite number of hours in every day. This aspect of Sara's career alone exemplifies the spirit of the Wayne Morse Award. But over the last year, we saw the true measure of Sara's courage and integrity when she spoke out about her own experiences of being sexually harassed in the Capitol by a fellow state senator. Not because she sought notoriety or credit, but because she cared about the other women affected by this conduct. Many of the women affected by this conduct were in subordinate positions and did not feel that they themselves could risk their careers or livelihoods. Last fall, Sara, our senator, was recognized by Time magazine as one of the silence breakers. For her part in initiating the Me Too movement. Together, Sara and the Silence Breakers were named Time's 2017 Person of the Year, much to the consternation of Donald Trump. Sara is an inspiration to countless women in the Oregon Capitol and across our state, and frankly, now throughout our nation. She stood up and used her voice to speak for those who might fear retribution. While we still have a lot of work ahead of us, Sara has blazed a trail for others to follow. For that, we are all enormously grateful and inspired. So I hope you will join me in thanking Sara for exemplifying the values of integrity and passion that merit this award. Congratulations, Sara, for the Wayne Morse Award for Integrity.
Oh, wow, that's a bright light. Thank you all very much. Thank you. So I do have a funny little story. I was sitting on an airplane because I'd gotten this call from Time Magazine that they were going to do an end of the year story on sexual harassment in the workplace. And first they were going to come, and then they said, we're talking to a lot of women, so why don't we'll fly you down to meet up with the other women, because we didn't know what it was. I was sitting on the airplane looking at my Twitter, like we all do before the plane takes off, and it was Donald Trump's tweet about, well, Time Magazine might name me Person of the Year, but I'd have to commit time to go to this interview and take a picture. And so I texted my partner, Michael, and said, oh, I'm making time to go see Time Magazine. Maybe we'll get to be in the Person of the Year. So that was very funny. He's an interesting guy. So it is really an honor to receive this award. And I have to admit that I have mixed feelings about it. I had the privilege and the opportunity to tweet something and receive a great deal of support from people around the state. And I had the opportunity to hear the stories of women and men across the state who had experienced sexual harassment or sexual violence in their workplace. I heard from individuals in almost every single one of our state agencies, from the DMV to the state police. I heard from men and women that work in the Capitol as lobbyists, as members, as staff people. Most of these folks said, I can't talk about what's happened to me and I just want it to stop. And I know that some of you are here in this room, and I want you to know that I believe you and I trust you, and we have to continue working to make it better. The biggest concern that I have is that we will think that this conversation is over because the former senator resigned. And if we think that this conversation is over because of that, we've missed the entire point, because it wasn't about him or me or Cinder Steiner Hayward. It was about the law interns that had to leave and the law interns that we have today that question whether they should come to work every day. It's about the interns, the staffers, and the members that wonder what they can do to make things better. And I wanted to just share a couple of words of what it really means to me. And my good friend Lou Frederick brought this to my attention last fall. And these are the people that this issue impacts in every workplace. It is not just Hollywood. It is not just capitals. It's people that really cannot speak up. And this is from the Alianza Nacional de Campesinas. Sorry, my Spanish is very bad. Dear sisters, and this is excerpted. Dear sisters, we write on behalf of the approximately 700,000 women who work in the agricultural fields and packing sheds across the United States. Sadly, we are not surprised by these issues of sexual harassment because it is a reality we know far too well. Countless farm worker women across our country suffer in silence because of the widespread sexual harassment and assault that they face at work. We work in the shadows of society, in isolated fields and packing houses that are out of sight and out of mind for most everyone in this country. Our job nourishes the nation with the fruits, vegetables, and other crops that we plant, pick, and pack. Reporting any kind of harm or injustice committed against us does not seem like a viable option. Complaining about anything, even sexual harassment, seems unthinkable because too much is at risk, including the ability to feed our families and preserve our reputations. We understand the hurt, confusion, isolation, and betrayal that you might feel. We also carry shame and fear resulting from their violence. It sits on our backs like oppressive weights, but deep in our hearts, we know that it is not our fault. The only people at fault are the individuals who choose to abuse their power to harass, threaten, and harm us like they have harmed you. In these moments of despair, and as you cope with scrutiny and criticism because you have bravely chosen to speak out against the harrowing acts that were committed against you, please know that you're not alone. We believe you and stand with you. From 700,000 farm worker women. So the good news for all of us that are here as Democrats, at the beginning, our governor told us, thank you. In the opening video, our governor narrated and told us why we are Democrats. And as Democrats, we can make a difference for all of these women and men that cannot speak up. And it starts with our local government officials, with our school boards that are teaching sex education and healthy relationships. It's in our legislature with voices of conscience like Tana Sanchez and Teresa Alonso Leon and Janelle Bynum and Lou Frederick in the Senate. It's with people like our Attorney General, Ellen Rosenblum, our Governor, Kate Brown, people like Jamie McLeod Skinner, who's going to turn Congress around. And of course, we have the laws that protect us, but we need a labor commissioner that will stand up in enforcing them. And that is why in 17 days, we have to turn in our ballots for Val Hoyle. It is the most important thing that we will do in 17 days. So thank you all so very much. And let's go out there and win some elections and make sure that we're hearing the voices of the people that don't always get a seat at the table. Thank you.